Well, hello everybody. Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerStore.com and PressureWashingSchool.com. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video on the surface cleaner pressure regulator that allows you to adjust the pressure on your surface cleaner without having to change the nozzles or adjust the unloader. So I told you I'd do a video on putting it together. So Raimondo and I did that this week. So stay tuned for that coming up next. Hey guys, real quick, don't forget we have our Atlanta training event coming up June 20th through the 22nd. First day is hands-on training, roof cleaning, building washing, concrete cleaning, and property protection. That's what I'll be teaching. It'll be outside. We'll be cleaning an actual church, so you'll get to participate in that. Then June 21st, the second day, is the parking lot striping training with Jeffrey Blackman. We'll have the equipment there, the sprayers. That'll be classroom time, as well as out in the parking lot where you can be able to use the equipment and lay down your own lines. So great opportunity to learn how to parking lot stripe, restripe parking lots. Add that to your existing business or start it up as a standalone business if you'd like. June 22nd is the Difference Makers Conference. That's the business conference where we're talking everything about your business, no cleaning at all, helping you get dialed in on your money stuff, how to price jobs, how to get commercial cleaning clients, maintenance, residual, different streams of revenue, all of that kind of stuff. We'll actually have a CPA joining us, and she'll be talking about money matters. So all of that, that's a business conference, all about your business. I'll be teaching about residential sales. So much information. You don't want to miss it. It'll definitely help you grow your business. So that's June 20th to 22nd in Atlanta. PressureWashingSchool.com/events is where you can get the information for that. And then also our Houston training, hands-on training is coming up. I think it's June 10th, 11th, but we've got them coming up for June, July, August, all the months, rest of the year. Been doing that for 12 years. So you can also get that at PressureWashingSchool.com/events. Hey, if you have any questions about any of the training opportunities, just drop me an email, pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com. Really hope to see you in Atlanta. If not, maybe Houston. And yeah, see y'all soon. So just to go over real quick, the pieces that you get in the kit is going to be 1/4-inch clear braid hose, just like you would use for a downstream injector. Then you've got a hose barb and a nut that is used for the deck of the surface cleaner. And then here you've got a 45-degree street elbow. Thank you. Here you've got a T, male on both sides, female up top. Your temperature gauge, not temperature, pressure gauge is going to go here. Then you've got your regulator and your hose barb, 1/4-inch by 1/4-inch, that is going to connect to the hose and go down to that 1/4 by 1/4-inch barb for the unloader. And so your hose for your surface cleaner will go into here, and then the other end goes down to the deck right there. So that's the pieces that will come in the kit. Okay guys, the first thing we're going to do is we've got to drill the hole for the hose barb that's going to come down from the regulator or unloader or whatever you want to call it. And so what Raimondo is doing, he's drilling a small pilot hole because this is going to be about a 1/2 inch. We use a 1/2 inch drill bit, right?
Yes, somewhere around there,
yeah.
a 1/2 inch.
So we use a 1/2 inch drill bit. And so he's just getting a little hole started so his bigger drill bit doesn't dance all over the surface cleaner deck. Okay, so guys, you can also use one of these drill bits, and you can see Raimondo has actually marked with a Sharpie how far he wants to go. This is like a variable bit. I cannot remember the name. We're both sitting here trying to remember the name of it.
Step bit.
Spade bit?
Step
bit. Step bit. So you can use one of those too if you want. You just got to make sure you know how far you're drilling down. So you don't want to drill this hole too big. Hey guys, one of the things you can do is when you're using that bit that Raimundo used, the hole's gonna be a little bit small, and so he's using a 9/16 wrench, and he's just tightening it down all the way through. And what's happening is he's actually threading this metal, so it's easy to unscrew it and pull it out if you need to. If you use a 1/2 inch, it may not be quite as tight, right?
Yes.
But if you use that spade bit, what do you call it? Step bit. If you use that step bit, I'm sorry guys, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I am wore out. Use that step bit and mark it at 9/16. It'll be nice and tight to where you can do it like this. If you use the 1/2 inch, it's probably just gonna go straight through and you don't have to worry about threading it. Okay, and so once he gets that done, he's gonna get the nut and go on the underside. Use a little lock seal. Just put a little dab will do you inside and thread that onto the threaded portion. So that's where your water is going to come out when you're not using full pressure. It's going to act kind of like an unloader, and your water will come out from there. All right, so we're getting ready to move up to the handle part and the outlet where the hose is, the pressure hose is. And so we're putting Teflon tape on all the threaded parts that need it. We always, whenever we have to thread parts, we always Teflon everything at one time so we don't have to keep, grabbing the piece and Tefloning one little thing at a time when you've got 4 or 5 different pieces to put Teflon tape on. It just takes forever, so we just do every piece at one time so it's ready. So when you get ready to do this portion up here, if you've got a whisper wash or a surface cleaner like this that has a quick connect fitting down here, you're going to disconnect this and take that off, because this fitting up here is not a swivel fitting. So we got to get that hose to be able to turn as he's using the wrench. That's an 11/16 open-ended wrench that he's using, and so now the hose turns freely. If you don't have a quick connect down here, then more than likely your hose will have a swivel fitting, so you'll still need to take the hose off so that the part up here can turn. All right, so the hose is off, and now he's going to get ready to start putting the fittings in. All right, so now he's going to put the 45 in, and that's going to be the first piece that comes off where you just took the hose off. And you're going to point that down, correct?
Halfway.
Halfway?
Yes, more like that.
Okay. All right, next we're putting in, when I say we, I mean he, is putting in the T. And so you want that female part that's sticking, that's exactly where you want it, pointing out like that, because that's where the gauge is going to go. Now, if you don't have the whisper wash like this and you've got a different type of surface cleaner, you're just going to have to play around while you're orienting it to make sure that everything is where you want it to be. I like it so I can see the gauge and grab the knob real easily to adjust it. So just get that tightened up in there and make sure it's pointing, the female portion for the gauge is pointing where you want it once you've got it all tightened to the spot you want it. All right, so next he's going to put the regulator, adjustable regulator on there. You'll see it's got 2 arrows, so just remember you want your water coming out of those. So the water comes in here and is coming out. So it's basically going to go like that. Oh, and we were just talking too. This is something you might want to use Loctite on. I just like Teflon and lock seal because I've just been using it for so many years, but because of the amount of fittings and how much you have to continue wrenching it all, it might be a good idea if you use Loctite instead. I mean, you can try the Teflon. That's what I've used on 2 other surface cleaners that I use, but Loctite's an option as well. I'll also tell you guys, if you've got a helper with you or somebody that can stand on the surface cleaner like I am, that helps because when you're wrenching these parts, the surface cleaner wants to go down and it's kind of hard to manage. So if you got somebody, your wife, son, daughter, somebody that can just keep a foot on this to keep it weighted down while you're wrenching it, it sure makes it easier. So next he's going to put on the gauge. And that screws into the female end of the T.
We're gonna use a 9/16.
And he's going to use a 9/16 inch wrench to tighten it up. All right, so the next step is to reattach the pressure hose. So that goes into the bottom of this regulator because the water is going to come through here. So you got to make sure this goes on the bottom. And then the hose barb is going to go up here because as the water comes through and you adjust this, this acts as an unloader, your water is going to come up through here to unload down there. So Raimundo is putting the pressure hose on the bottom first because that's what I told him to do. But he normally, I just found out, the previous 3 that he's installed to my 0 that I have installed, he puts the barb in first. And so I asked him, well, shouldn't you put this in first so you don't get binded up? He said it doesn't really matter. So to appease me, he's putting it on. Come on, smile, Raimundo. So you put the pressure hose back on, and now he's going to put the barb, which will be for the 1/4 inch hose. And so on that hose barb, you're using the 9/16
Yes.
wrench. And down here you used what?
11/16.
11/16. So no adjustable wrench on this, huh?
No.
That's what I live off of. 1 wrench, everything.
Just on the pressure gauge.
Okay.
This one.
So once it gets to a certain point where it's pretty tight, he uses a backup down here on the adjustable, so none of this stuff really moves or whatever. So once that's done, you're pretty much done. All you have to do is connect your 1/4 inch hose from here down to here. All right, so we've got the hose clamps. They're already on the hose. You don't want to forget that. You don't want to get your hose on there and then have to yank it back off. So sliding that over the barb and tighten it up. And then we're reconnecting the pressure hose, and he's going to do the same thing down here. Put the hose over the hose barb. He's got his clamp already on the hose, slides it over, and tighten it up. So once that's all done, you want to test it, hook it up to your pressure washer. You're probably going to have a leak. And that's another reason I say maybe use Loctite. Raimundo's pretty good with this Teflon and lock seal, so we haven't had any leaks so far on the ones that we've installed. But the thing with Teflon you have to be careful is if you're wrenching something and turning it and you have to come back, well, that Teflon's going to loosen in there and it's not going to make a good seal. So you just want to be careful about that. You got to be pretty precise with it. But Loctite you don't. So you have to make the choice of what you want to use. And that's it. It's done. You got to test it out. Make sure no parts are leaking because you got a lot of threaded connections. But once it's done, man, you're going to love it. Okay, guys, hope this has been helpful for y'all. Very easy to put this together. The big thing is, man, it's so convenient to be able to adjust the pressure of your surface cleaner on the fly so that you don't damage delicate concrete or pool decks or stuff like that. So hope it's been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, just drop them down below. And then hit me up at info@DougRuckerStore.com if you have any questions about our products or anything that we can help you with in your business. So y'all have a very, very blessed day.